Hey, hope everyone is doing good today. Well, the Archbishop writes to Trump, and Glenn Beck has it on his show. So we're going to listen to that in a second, and just understand that he is against tyranny. I understand his view on this. I don't know if he voted for Trump in 2016 or not, but he is definitely a Trump supporter right now. Oh, notice the F back there. Just notice that. Well, let's listen to a few clips. It's really hard for me to break this up, so I would listen to it on your own and just listen for key things, but we'll go over them after.
Mr. President, allow me to address you at this hour in which fate of the whole world is being threatened by a global conspiracy against God and humanity. I write you as an archbishop, as the former apostolic nuncio of the United States of America. I'm writing you in the midst of the silence of both civil and religious authorities. May you accept these words of mine as a voice of one crying out in the desert. As I said when I wrote my letter to you in June, this historic moment sees the forces of evil aligned in a battle without quarter against the forces of good. Forces of evil that appear powerful and organized as they oppose the children of light, who are disoriented and disorganized, abandoned by their temporal and spiritual leaders. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Daily we sense the attacks multiplying of those who want to destroy the very basis of society, the natural family, respect for human life, love of country, freedom of education, freedom of business. We see heads of nations and religious leaders pandering to this suicide of Western culture and its Christian soul, while the fundamental rights of the citizens and believers are denied in the name of a health emergency that is revealing itself more and more as fully an instrument to the establishment of an inhuman, faceless tyranny. Behind the world leaders who are the accomplices and executors of this infernal project, there are unscrupulous characters who finance the World Economic Forum and Event 201, promoting their agenda. The purpose of the Great Reset is the imposition of a health dictatorship aiming at the imposition of liberticidal measures hidden behind tempting promises of ensuing a universal income and canceling individual debt. The price of these concessions from the International Monetary Fund will be the renunciation of private property and an adherence to a program of vaccination against COVID-19 and COVID-21 promoted by Bill Gates in collaboration with the main pharmaceutical groups. Beyond the enormous economic interests that motivate the promoters of this Great Reset, the imposition of the vaccination will be accompanied by the requirement of a health passport and a digital ID, with the consequent contact tracing of the population of the entire world. Those who do not accept these measures will be confined in detention camps or placed under house arrest, and all of their assets will be confiscated. Mr. President, I imagine you're already aware that in some countries the Great Reset will be activated between the end of this year and the first trimester of 2021. For this purpose, further lockdowns are planned, which will officially be justified by a supposed second and third wave of the pandemic. This will serve to make the recourse of nations to the Great Reset irreversible, thereby giving the final blow to a world whose existence and very memory they want to completely cancel. Just when the complicity of the mainstream media has succeeded in making the transition to the New World Order almost painless and unnoticed, all sorts of deceptions, scandals, and crimes are now coming to light. It is now clear that the one who occupies the chair of Peter, that's the Pope, has betrayed his role from the very beginning in order to defend and promote the globalist ideology, supporting the agenda of the deep church who chose him from his ranks. Mr. President, you have clearly stated you want to defend the nation, one nation under God, fundamental liberties, and non-negotiable values that are denied and fought against today. It is you, dear President, who are the one who opposes the deep state, the final assault of the children of darkness. For this reason, it is necessary that all people of goodwill be persuaded of the importance of the imminent election, not so much for the sake of this or that political program, but because of the general inspiration of your action that best embodies, in this particular historic context, that world, our world, which they want to cancel by means of lockdowns. Your adversary is also our adversary. It is the enemy of the human race, he who is the murderer from the beginning. Around you are gathered with faith and courage those who consider you the final garrison against the world dictatorship. It is understanding that it is not willing to exchange its freedom for the homogenization and cancelization of its identity. It's beginning to understand the value of familial and social ties and the bonds of faith and culture that unite all honest people. The leveling inhumanity of the globalist project will shatter miserably in the face of firm and courageous opposition of the children of light. The enemy has Satan on its side, he who only knows how to hate. But on our side, we have the Lord Almighty. Place your trust in the Lord, strengthened by the words of the Apostle Paul. I can do all things in him who strengthens me. That is from the Archbishop Carlo Viango to the President of the United States, and it is very clear, and I echo his words.
Okay, so what did you guys think? I'm sure many of you heard all the same things I've been trying to warn against. Yes, people are speaking the truth, and how. One question I have, though, why would a priest share this, and why would they share this with the public? You have to think about these things. So, keywords: together, unity, maybe he even said one, but he said all honest people. Yeah. And children of light. Do you think he's really speaking about Christians here? And do you really think that Trump is the only one standing against all these globalists and elites that are wanting to bring everyone to this one world system? Sure. Okay. But let's try to get through the rest real quick, because there was still a lot that I wanted to look over. So who is Glenn Beck? Well, here's just a few tidbits of information. His parents are from Germany. He's Roman Catholic, but he was raised that way, but now apparently he might be LDS, I don't know. But he also attended a Jesuit school. So do you think he's changed? There's his family. I'm not going to get into a lot of things. He's got tons of books. You can find it on his website. He's received an award. Look at that. The best website. As we know, you cannot make it big in this world unless you sell yourself, correct? Yeah, you have to be one of the brothers to get in. So here are all the sponsors. A lot of sponsors. So I wonder who are behind these companies. He's been a guest on many shows. Many. I'm not going to go into every one of them. He's had many guests on his show. Even Ben Shapiro, Mike Lindell, and many, many others. I mean, Donald Trump Jr. Yeah, he's not just somebody. Interesting side note here, The Pillow donated a lot of pillows to the American Cancer Society. I had to look into that just real quick, and just super quick, notice the letters ASCC equals 11933. Interesting. Gary M. Reedy. All you need to know is where he previously worked. Senior leadership positions with SmithKline Beacom, Centocor, and Johnson & Johnson. He's not just a nobody. No. We know who he represents and that he backs all kinds of things. He stood with many celebrities. I mean, the Osmonds. Look at his wife's, I believe that's his wife, necklace there. I'm not sure if that's her or not. But anyway, Mel Gibson, there he is on the left with Bon Jovi. Back in the day, he was, this was on Facebook. And he's been on all the shows, like I said. He's not just a somebody. And he goes speaking, has speaking events, restoring honor, restoring courage, restoring love. And then he flies in planes. Look at the logo on that. Is he the owner of this, or who is? Because that logo right there, that's not a Christian logo. So I don't know who or what he stands for on that. But anyway, when I saw this, obviously you have to be aware who he is. Pledges 100,000 donation to a Christian United for Israel during keynote speech. He's been at the CPAC. He's been at Kufi. Other people who have been at Kufi that you most likely know all this information, so I'm not going to go into any of the names. Michelle Buckman, of course, John Hagee, just to name a few, Eric Stackelbeck, whatever his name was. So many. Billy Brim, Ted Cruz. I mean, everyone's been at these things, APAC and Kufi and all the others. So nothing surprising there. I mean, there he is. He's a speaker, Glenn Beck on the left. So, but then when I saw this picture, I got more curious. And so let's just share a few seconds of this video.
Zacharias this weekend. What an amazing guy. The C.S. Lewis of our day. Amazing. Huge fan. Told me he watched every episode of us on Fox. And said he wants to come on the show. He's like, I love to come on the show. He said, you know, God's work is being done here. But I'm watching him, and I'm listening to what he says. And I heard an urgency in his voice unlike I have heard from many people. And he was talking about, we better have the burden. Do we carry the burden of our country on our heart? He said, nobody can carry all of it, but the Lord takes it all, because we can't carry that burden. He takes it all, and then he divvies it up and gives our portion to us. And we better start carrying the burden of our country, because we're about to lose our country. Several times he said, what has happened to us? How did we get here? He just talked with real urgency about, we better wake up soon. Now, fast forward. I've been reading The Mystery of the Shemitah. Everyone needs...
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead and read that book by Jonathan Cahn, but please. So, really, what can you say about that? I'm so disappointed in Ravi Zachariah. Words can't express. But I've already said my 2 cents with him joining with Hillsong. But let's look at some symbolism. Notice any right here? Sure. Yeah. Notice a lot. How about over here? Notice the G right in the middle. Those are my symbols on the right, obviously. Just trying to show you and get you to understand why anyone would want to use the G. And there's 3 lines of 3 equals 33. What about the logo that's just hovering behind him the whole time with the lightning bolt through it? Maybe somebody could look into why those particular ones are lit up. Not sure. Is it a 4 or is it a 5? Is it an 11? I don't know. Anyway, looks like as above, so below to me. And the one that's at the bottom right of his screen. 3 flames with the B. Just saying, could be 32nd degree. Well, all I'm saying is they really are holding Trump up high and expecting him to heal the world. Whoa. It is not dark. You have to be able to see the light here and really start researching, because it is not dark if you can see and hear what they are saying and the truth in all of this. God's word is the lamp for our feet and a light for our path. This is a spiritual warfare. You have to be careful who you're listening to and what you're trusting, who you're trusting, and the words that they're saying. Pray That's all I'm going to say is pray, and pray for God's will to be done. Don't pray for specific things for Trump to save the world. No. No, ask for God's will to be done today. That's what we need to be praying. We need to be on our knees. All right, this has gone long enough. I'll let you go. God bless. Take care. Until next time.